Hello and welcome back to Louis Bertou's Music Reviews. Today I'm in a new location, as you might be able to tell. There's a different wall behind me, a different lamp. Well, it's the same lamp, but it's in a different place. You get the idea. I've moved house basically, and I thought I'd give y'all a couple of just records that I've been listening to at the minute that have helped me through the move. So it's kind of treat this as two mini reviews and a bit of an update, I guess. The first album I'd like to talk about is Japanese Breakfast's new one called Jubilee, which came out like a month ago, maybe a few weeks ago. I'm a little bit slow on the uptake. I know with these review channels, you're supposed to get in there probably 1 or 2 days after the album's been released, so that search traffic can be, guided to you. But unfortunately, I just had other things on, and I'd be putting off this review. I don't know why. It's a great album. It's a fun one. It's a fun one to review as well. Japanese Breakfast. So this is I think it's her third record. Like, she released quite a few cassette-only albums in the 2010s, and then finally debuted with one called Psychopomp in 2016, which she immediately followed up with another one whose name escapes me in 2017. So, and then we went 5 years without Breakfast, you could say. So this new one in 2021 was quite well hyped by people on the same wavelength as Michelle Corner, Japanese Breakfast. Of course, me being me, I hadn't checked out any of her earlier work, and I was first thrown into the world of this artist through their new album. But yeah, I was really impressed. I thought it was a super fun album, super light, airy, with bags of personality. Like I say, there's an air of like spontaneity about the album. It doesn't feel overwrought or like it was, rethought out, and finally perfected. It feels like some of the ideas here retain the same excitement that would have surrounded them when they've been first heard. I don't know if that makes any sense, but there's something of the initial excitement in, say, some of the string parts and the synth parts. They just make me think that they were conceived in this really fun, experimental, light environment. And that gets translated through the songs. But all that's quite subjective, I see. When it actually comes down to it, I think the songs also do carry themselves. Like, there's definitely some interesting like harmonic choices in some of these tracks, which always make me kind of go, "Oh, okay, that was interesting." Definitely, some of the chord changes flirt with the amateurishness. Definitely, like, they're not professional sounding, some of these chord changes, but I still like them. It really leans into like the genre of indie, where it doesn't sort of matter so much what you play. What matters most is the authentic expression of how you're feeling right there, right then. Like, it's an honest kind of music. I'm probably going way too in depth here, but it kind of feels a bit like an oxymoron, because you've got this quite well produced album. Like, there's a lot of production tricks, and it definitely sounds, professional. However, there's also this spontaneity and authentic self being expressed, and together it's a messy combination, but I like it. I've not been able to really get this album out of my head from the first time I've heard it, and something about it has made me want to keep playing it, which I can't say for a lot of modern pop records. A lot of those sort of go in one ear, out the other. They're great while they're here, but then they just sort of, I'm done with them in a few days. Next, please. Whereas this one is here to stay. I'd give it an 8 out of 10. Fairly decent 8 as well, because even though, I really did enjoy it, it's not necessarily the greatest album ever made, nor probably of the year. With that aside, subjectively, probably more like a light 9, but for the time being, I'm giving it an 8. But anyway, that's Japanese Breakfast. That's 2021, that's new music. I also have been quite obsessed almost with this record by Oval, who were an outfit in the 90s producing a lot of electronic, sort of glitchy music. It was Oval, Fenez. Yeah, Oval and Fenez were the two main sort of glitch guys, I guess, from the late 90s, early 2000s. And I've loved Fenez's music for years, but I never really checked out Oval's until recently. And yeah, it was exactly what I needed. Because I've recently actually moved house. You can probably tell from the backdrop here. And when you're moving house and everything kind of changes around you, like you're saying goodbye to some people, you're saying hello to some others, you're packing, you're cleaning, etc. It's quite a chaotic state of being. So it's nice to have these grounding sort of objects. Like this record has really grounded me. It's given me something to kind of consistently come back to during these uncertain times. Obviously, it's only moving house. It's not like I'm moving country or anything, but it's just down the road. Nonetheless, this album has helped me. It's very relaxing. It's very ambient. It's almost alien, but obviously, as all great electronic music is, it's alien while also tying into the human. So it's like the dichotomy of human and alien. But there's some really lovely sounding electronic drums. There's some skips which almost sound like CDs skipping, which obviously isn't a pleasant sound, but when utilised by Oval, it's a beautiful thing. There's some lovely jazzy chord changes as well. A lot of major 7 chords and kind of these sort of things, which are just very chill, very very relaxing. I think I definitely need them occasionally. And what I didn't realise when I first put this album on was that the first song takes up the whole first side. It's 23 or so minutes long, and it's amazing. It doesn't get old. I've listened to that song probably 10 times in the past, like 2 weeks. Less so now than I was when I was actually moving, but it's unreal how captivating just those few chords and that little skipping kind of sound over the top of it is. I'd really recommend listening to it. I forget what it's called now, but Do While, that's what it's called, Do While, because you do while listening to it. And do what? You do anything while listening to Do While, because it's so wonderful. It wonderfully fades into the background while also being able to be in the forefront every so often, as great ambient should be. It should be in the background and then every so often resurfaces into your mind's ear. I don't fucking know. But yeah, I'd recommend that album hugely. It's a hugely entertaining and beautiful, softly transcendent experience of a glitch album. Oval, 94 Discount. And yeah, besides those 2 albums, I've also been I've been pretty into playing vinyl recently, as you can see from the stack here. So what I've been doing, right, is since I've been at home, I've had my turntable set up. I didn't have that set up at my last place, so now that I've got it set up, what I'm doing is going through each of my records and listening to them and making a decision as to whether I want to keep them or get rid of them. I've done this before, so like this is all these records I do like, but I'm doing it again, and I figured what might be cool is if I do like a little review of each one. So I sort of get on camera here and then review, like, say, this album here tomorrow, the next one the day after, and then etc. until I've got through my whole collection. And that way, it's kind of a good way of actually taking the decision out of deciding what album to review. So I can just literally pick it out and it's there. I don't know what you guys think of that, but I think I'm going to do it anyway and see what the response is like. But yeah, that's about all I needed to say, or wanted to say. Japanese Breakfast, 8 out of 10. Oval, 94 Discount. It's got to be a strong 9. And then my vinyls, 1 out of 10. But yeah, so I'll probably see you tomorrow or so, and I'm going to be reviewing one of these here. See you then. Goodbye.